Hey guys, this is Luke from Tiny Table Wargaming. Today I'm trying it with my phone microphone instead of my headset, so fingers crossed the sound quality is 10 times better. Now here we have today a review of Pendraken's 10mm fantasy Undead army. We will be going through the basic from their pewter and then from where I've based them on and painted them. Now the thing I'm beginning to find with Pendraken's miniatures is I believe my main concern with these models now is their moulds are getting slightly worn and slightly possibly outdated due to the quality of the cast. However, with the size of this scale, it is very difficult to keep things obviously fine detailed. You don't really need the massive over complex details. So here, as we see, we have quite a lot of flash in quite an awkward spot. So obviously we've got a lack of detail in the swords, but it's the large bits of flash on quite a few of the models that's a little bit more concerning. Now, I don't have a needle nose file. I wish I did. I possibly need to pick some up. There you go, you can see it there more than anything. I mean, these are fantastic miniatures for the price. I mean, you get 25 miniatures for around about £5, plus postage, plus the cost of basing, whatever. Another concern I have with them is their size. The size of their base is very thick. It's quite a thick base in itself to mount onto anything flat. I don't think I have anything. Oh, there we go. Nope. I thought I had my. There we go. I found them. So, as you can see, this is from when I was basing them as Pendraken Warband miniatures. As you can see here, that's 2 crossbowmen and a archer. The quality on them is fantastic for the scale, and I mean once they're painted up, once they're all mounted and based and everything else like that, these details kind of just sort of like fade into the background. Then it's not massively important. But as you can see here, their bases are quite thick, which requires a little bit of extra work when it comes to basing your miniatures. You can't really do anything fancy like you can with larger scales without a lot of work. But yet again, they were designed for Warband itself, Warband the actual game, sort of created by Stephen Hardy, which I think is a fantastic rule set. I'm just sort of slowly beginning to get the hang of it. But yeah, the quality of the miniatures for the cost is fantastic, and I mean, they are definitely one of the better, possibly the best 10mm miniatures on the market at the moment in regards to the fantasy things. I'm yet to order some Callistra and a couple of other smaller scale fantasy miniatures. The Callistra ones I'm kind of a little bit concerned about because they're more rank, so they're on strips rather than individual miniatures, which is cool and it looks impressive. But you like the diversity of being able to create sort of different ranked sort of miniatures. So like they would all be like one limit. The flock is something I have made myself. It's not the best quality, but for the distance from as you're seeing right now, I think it looks passable. So yeah, so let's go through the different unit types. You have your standard warriors. Now each pose, there is many variables in all different types of poses. So I mean, some of them I just need to go through with washes and just sort of like dotting the eyes, like just create a bit of darkness. But the quality of the miniatures is just fantastic, and you know, you've got a nice variation of different ones. You know, you've got some of them in the same pose but they've got a shield, or some of them are a similar pose but they've got a different weapon. So it's really cool, and it's really, there we go, talking about the flash on that one there with the arm. Just this little guy here, you can see just on his arm the amount of flash there. But obviously these are 10mm. I mean, from a distance, from the 3 feet rule, you're not really going to notice. I mean, I've bought 2 armies from them. This is my second time with them. I bought a Dark Elf army in 2017 as I was first getting into wargaming. Obviously I progressed onto the larger scales due to eyesight and shall we say, patience issues first getting into the hobby, and sort of like not quite understanding how sort of like difficult like painting at such a small scale when you're not kind of used to it is like, or it can be. Um, you're trying to highlight the right places, you're trying to wash the right place, things like that. So that was your standard warrior unit. Here we have our spearmen. So you've got the nice long standing out pikes with a couple with shields and sort of mono-posed, back guardsmen, and just waiting to rank up, ready to impale your opponents. Now, obviously, they do have shields on the back with some pretty cool details. I mean, the back details are fantastic. The back details are phenomenal. They're incredible. I mean, they are incredible miniatures for the price and for what they're designed for. They do their job perfectly. Yeah, I could possibly go through with a bit needle nose pliers. I mean, flash is never going to be gotten rid of, regardless of the quality of the miniature. I mean, there are Games Workshop miniatures with a lot of flash. There's Forge World, which we all know has a little bit of a reputation of a fair bit of flash. Finecast, Kings of War, Mantics. All miniatures have flash. It's just part of the casting process. But obviously, Age of Miniatures and sort of like, I mean, I can't imagine sculpting at this scale is a very easy feat. I know I probably couldn't do it. It is something I would like to look into the future. But obviously, I'm mainly going to be focusing on the wargaming. But yeah, so that's your spearmen over and done with. Your warriors and your spearmen do come in the same packet, so it is always better to double up on your order. So if you're ordering one pack of spearmen, or if you're ordering one pack of warriors from Pendraken, order 2 packs, because that way then you get a nice variety of warriors and spearmen. Now, same with the bowmen. With the bowmen, you will get half a bag of bowmen with some crossbowmen as well. Now, I'm not a big fan of Undead with crossbows. To me, it just doesn't feel Undead. I remember watching Jason and the Argonauts as a kid with my dad. So I mean, to me, fantasy Undead had bows and arrows, and they didn't really have crossbows. Crossbows to me, I would say, is probably quite a lot later than fantasy, but crossbows seem to work for different factions and things like that. So they were your bowmen. You've had obviously a quick look at your crossbowmen. Here we have the Cavalry, which yet again I think are fantastic sculpts. I think just the detailing on them is amazing, like the fact that you can see like ribs, and I mean, I believe there's what looks to be flesh on here, which I can't really get focus on that guy. So that could possibly be something that I've got to go over and sort of have a look and sort of get in there with my glasses and have a proper look and find out what's going on there, because these do seem a little bit plain. But I think that could be down to my painting technique more than anything else. But yeah, obviously you've got several different poses, you've got several different variants. These come in a pack of 12. And then you've got your wraiths, like ghouls, wraiths, which I think are really cool. These come in a pack of 12. So I've managed to base them. I've also based them on 2mm plastic card, 2mm styrene, just mainly for the safety of like the formaldehyde in MDF. Obviously I've got small children, which is one of the reasons why my videos are a little bit later at night. I'm currently trying to get my daughter into a more appropriate sleeping routine. However, these miniatures are fantastic. I've just got a little bit of a clean-up to do. The wash is something I made myself. Now, it is a little bit more green than that in the actual, like in the flesh itself, in the metal itself. How I made it was I used a little bit of washing up liquid, a little bit of purified water, and a little bit of just regular children's poster paints. So just some of the Asda cheap neon green, and it seemed to work. And it's give a pretty decent effect. I've just gone over the faces a little bit with a bit of Nuln Oil, but I'm not too sure on how that's played out. But from a distance, it focuses their faces a little bit better. Obviously, they come in a pack of 12. Now, you've also got the catapults, which yet again I think are just fantastic. These do come in separate. These do come in separate pieces. Require you to glue them together. I do recommend super glue. Obviously, you're gluing metal together. But yeah, I've kind of glued this guy on backwards, so he's pulling the catapult, or he's pulled the catapult, and he's kind of facing the wrong way. But yeah, I mean, like these are fantastic miniatures, and I mean they're fantastic for the price. Now, a standard pack, and you've got your cavalry, you've got your chariot as well, which obviously these are both the same. Now, these guys that I put on, I customized the base to allow me to have my heroes on mount with the Kings of War rule, because Undead in the Kings of War rules that I'm aware of don't really have chariots as a rule, so these are going to be proxied as heroes on mounts, sort of in effect. So it's going to be like a necromancer on a mount, it's going to be a reverend lord on a mount, so it's going to be pretty cool. But I mean, like the detailing on them is pretty crisp, and I mean, I could probably do getting some needle nose pliers and, well, needle nose files and a few small little bits, a few small hobby tools. But with your little leaders like this guy, the guys on the chariots, these come in a pack of 6. So these are your undead sort of mages, necromancers. You know what I mean? Like the detail is just absolutely like phenomenal, like, as they are. I mean, the detailing is it's literally insane. I mean, hands off to anyone that can sculpt this small. As you can see, I think quite a large portion of his hand sort of isn't cast with it, which is one of those sort of like discrepancy things. But I mean, from a distance, you can't really sort of set it out, and his undead is not going to be sort of all there and like complete. So I mean, as a pack, so for £30 you get 3 packs of warriors, you get a pack of ranged units, you get 2 catapults, you get your knights, and I think you get your leaders as well. So the chariots and the race I ordered separately, but if that's what you get from an army box, so with your army box you will get them in a box like this, and they will come in just a little plastic baggies with a back piece on telling you what you get in the box. And then you will get 8 of these Mdf bases. Now these are pretty cool. I mean, these are 100mm by 50mm, so as you can see, you know, it's quite a big difference. To me, I did it just for ease, and the fact that I'm kind of called Tiny Table War Games, which is kind of what the idea is. So that's kind of the idea, is we're trying to get a hobby where you can set up on a coffee table. So armies like this is fantastic. I mean, this is just under Kings of War points, as far as I'm aware, is just under, I think it's 1,600 points. So that's quite a large army for 1,600 points, which is quite impressive. But yeah, obviously, you know, more reviews will be coming. I mean, they're fantastic models. I suppose I could probably go at them with a little bit with a little bit more precision. Obviously, I need to order myself some more files and a few other smaller bits just to get into the details and do a little bit of cleanup. But other than that, I mean, their models are fantastic. I've got, fingers crossed, I should have an unboxing in later on next week from Alternative Armies. I have ordered the Horde of Things rule set, and I have ordered a Undead 24 AP army and a Imperial Elf 24 AP army. All paid for. Gavin is sending me 2 little miniatures. Well, he's sending me a unit of 10 evil men and then a little elf on... I forgot a griffin. It's an elf on a griffin. So obviously them 2 will be coming. Them 2 little units will be coming up as a review, as well as the armies themselves, obviously in general. Now, alternative armies are 15mm, which is cool because that's kind of what we're focusing on this page. But yeah, I mean, overall, I am happy with the Undead. I mean, my son loves them. My son loves how I've painted them up. He wanted red shields more than anything. But I just thought I'd throw sort of like the occasional odd shield in. Just, you know, the little, as you can see there, just a little purple shield. So He could have been possibly an undead, I don't know, royal. Could have been an undead elf. But yeah, you've got wooden shields there and a stained shield there, what looks to be. I do need to get some like brown wash, some more like a to create like a rusty sort of like old like metal, just for the metal parts and metal components, just to give them that a little bit of age. Possibly another little wash on the ghouls. I'm sorry for the little rambling video, guys. I do apologise, it's 15 minutes. I am going to try and keep them to the 10-minute mark. But yeah, that's my general overview on the Undead army from Pendraken. They are fantastic. They are great moulds. Other than a little bit of cleanup, they're perfect. I mean, my only real concern is the size of the base. That obviously, but I mean, it's 10mm. I think anything less might be too flimsy. But it just makes it that little bit harder to sort of like make like rocky bases like slate, like Luke did on his APS videos with Kings of War basing. Obviously, they're much larger. You know, they were much larger bases, but like you could do the same sort of thing with like small pieces of plaster on this scale. But obviously, due to that basing issue, I mean, it takes a lot of work just to get the feet, and then you've got the possibility of potentially ripping the feet off. But yeah, I mean, they're cool miniatures. I do plan on putting another order in very soon for a barbarian army. That's an army that has definitely grabbed my interest. But yeah, so this is my second video. Thank you for the 50 views, and thank you for getting over 10 subscribers. I mean, it's literally been 3 days. And I'm just ecstatic, like, looking back constantly. I am going to plan on getting a more suitable upload routine. So I'm thinking possibly Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays. So Tuesdays will be like a small like overview of like what we're doing, possibly a little bit of terrain. Thursdays, army overview, talking about rule sets. And Fridays might be just general painting chat, things like that. I will eventually try and set up like a live stream situation, hopefully if my daughter sleeps at an appropriate time, and sort of just have like a nice like chill out sort of like atmosphere and just enjoy it. I hope the sound quality has been 10 times better. I'm just waiting on my tripod and I'm just waiting on my microphone to arrive. Then fingers crossed. I will be also getting a new table cover because this is far too reflective and dirty and I'm not happy with it. But thank you for watching, guys. Enjoy your evening. Have fun. Enjoy wargaming. Keep it small, keep it tiny, and keep it on the table. Like, share, subscribe. Peace out.